Hey guys, it's Maria Park. Welcome to Approach the Nerd and our Motherland Fort Salem season finale stream, which is insane. Where the hell did this season go? Like, seriously, we're already at the end, the last episode for season 2. Disclaimers here. I sound very effed up. I am a voice actor, so I'm trying to project my voice, but I'm having the sinus attack from hell. I feel like I am Fort Salem and the Camarilla is invading my sinus cavities. You see my eye right now. It is swelling as we speak. So you're going to see me rub my eye a lot because I am dying. Just putting that out there because I don't, I actually am talking about something later on in this review and then I just stop talking. You know why. It's a thing. Also, season 3 is renewed, but is apparently going to be the final season of Motherland Fort Salem. Let me tell you how a lot of the things that I said in last week's stream are coming true, not just in the plot and not just some of the stuff that we've all speculated on and everybody's had similar theories about, but I said something and I did not think it was going to come true, and that is that Freeform was going to effing cancel this show. They literally did the same shiz to one of my favorite shows on their channel, which I know all of you have seen, Shadowhunters. It's the same story, different game. Whenever a show gets very popular, whenever there's a lot of like budget spent towards advertisement and CG and all of that, and it gets really expensive, they bow out. So yeah, I joked about it. I said, I hope Freeform doesn't cancel this show like they did with Shadowhunters. And then of course they announced the final season 3. So it's Freeform. I've been seeing a lot of petitions going around and I'm all for that, guys. But I mean, they even took out billboards, above Netflix to try and get them to pick up Shadowhunters. The thing went literally globally. So I don't have any stock or any faith that Freeform is going to bow to that. Now, all their other shows that don't cost any money hardly, like, Grownish, Good Trouble and all that, they'll get 5 or 6 seasons maybe. But this one, I doubt it. I am really not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just telling you, this is not the network that's going to cave to that. I'm just saying. And it sucks. And maybe Hulu or Netflix will pick it up. It just depends on the rights. Or maybe Elliot will choose to do what he was originally going to do with this story. And that basically is continue it in books. Because this was always going to be a book series. So maybe he'll finally do that. So I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. Guys, sinus cavities. All right. Another thing that, a lot of people don't like me saying because, they get in their feelings, but my channel, I say what I want. I don't like Rayla. I am still not supportive of the whole Scylla thing because she has not been made to have her full redemption arc. So I'm not going to discuss Rayla. I don't find their storyline appealing, nor do I find it worthwhile discussing. So I'm not going to say a damn thing about Rayla. If you would like to see anything about Rayla, please seek out another YouTube channel that I'm sure has made music videos about this already. Please go watch those. It will not happen here. I do not talk about shit on my channel that I don't like. Disclaimer. All right. So moving on. Let's talk about what happened in the final episode of Motherland Fort Salem. When I say final, I mean season finale. Now, for me, this was a epically cool, very effing cool episode because of character development. So last season, we did not see that shit coming. We didn't see Raelle almost dying. We didn't see Abigail and her basically, dying together and Raelle using the witch bomb. We didn't see any of this shit. We did not see it coming. So for me, the last season finale, season 1, was epic because it shocked the hell out of me. This one, not so much, because we kind of predicted a lot of stuff that was going to happen in this. But what made it good for me was character development, because I kind of feel like that is what mattered the most in this season to begin with. Season 2 was all about people and character development, for the most part, and mostly everybody got character development. But we'll talk about that in a second. So the base is under attack, of course. The plague is everywhere. If you're on my community tab, this week, I did post a question. Do you think that Penelope was the source when she got pricked? And she got pricked. She was the source. I mean, you saw it coming. It's like every comic book I've ever read. When somebody's like, if somebody comes in and pricks you accidentally with a lapel mic, which, by the way, again, I have a film degree. Lapel mics don't prick you unless you're using a safety pin to hold it up. No, that was a needle prick. That was literally an injection to make her the source of the plague. The way her father reacted from day one, I have said it in every review. I know other of the viewers of my channel, when you guys have talked, you've seen this too. How Vice President Silva not only acted when he saw his daughter for the very first time use her witch abilities, that signaled to him that she had to go. He was angry. He was not sad. He was angry. Does he have remorse because he had to kill his daughter? Yes. Did he love his daughter more than becoming the next president of the United States? Hell no. Vice President Silva was Camarilla. Said it from the episode effing 1 of season 2. So no shock there. No shock whatsoever. I would like to have a little bit more backstory. I would like to know his family lineage because I'm still convinced that him and Albin Hurst are related in some way, maybe cousins, maybe they were frat buddies, maybe they are BFFs. I don't know, growing up. Some trauma or family lineage led them to be this effing evil. And so, it is what it is. I love that they confirmed that the Not My Daughters, basically movement is all basically funded by the Camarilla. I mean, they own everything. The Camarilla is everywhere. They're in hospitals. They're in the police. They're, obviously in the government because the vice president is one. I mean, across the board. But what we did learn in this episode is that President Wave is just trying to show her lady balls. She's not a Camarilla. I never thought she was. She's just showing her lady balls. Alder pissed her off. And she got rid of Alder. And she put Petra in thinking she was going to be a puppet. Now, what I'll say about little Petra is like, you will know. Because President Wade said, whenever I say something you don't like, it seems like the storm outside gets, closer or louder or whatever. And she's like, you'll know when it's one of mine. I'm like, yeah, she's not gonna, Petra doesn't need the biddies to hiss at President Wade. She does it with her look. She's like, I'm trying very hard to slap the shit out of you right now. So, mad respect to that. So, okay. But I'm going to do a brief paraphrasing summary. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it takes a long time to recap the show. And if you're in here, I'm assuming you already freaking watched it. So yes, the plague is everywhere. It's hitting people randomly. Our girls from the Bellwether unit, of course, Gregorio, who, by the way, I told you Gregorio is in the tally. Everybody knows Gregorio is in the tally. Gregorio is going to be Tally's baby's daddy. That's just what it is. That is his purpose. But all of them are together. And, of course, we see Albin Hurst come out of the building because he's like been in the dorm. I want to say it's one of the dorms where all like they're basically taking vocal cords of these soldiers, or the witches are soldiers on base. And they've gotten, I think it was like 60 something of them by the end of it all, which is effing horrifying. But you see the building and all the vocal cords are going crazy and all the black plague crap is everywhere. And you see him come out. He looked literally like he was Venom. It looked like a moment of Venom to me. So I'm like, that whole scene was so comic bookish to me. Of course, Abigail wanted to go kick his ass and Rael's like, no, this is suicide. But Tally figures out in the episode that she can match this frequency to stop the devices that are blocking their work. And it works. And she's able to get word. And so, that gave them an egg up. The only problem is 2 things really did happen that were really cool. I'll get to the second thing. The only problem is, though, they have to find the source. And when they find the source, of course, it's Penelope. And at first, Rael thought she could use the witch bomb because she tried it earlier on the balcony with the girl and it almost worked. But then it started coming up on the girl again. And that sweet girl, she just jumped off the balcony and literally just killed herself so she wouldn't infect them. That's loyalty, man. But they come upon Penelope, and Penelope doesn't even realize what's happening. She didn't even realize she's the one infected. She's like, why doesn't anyone want to talk to me? I'm like, poor girl, And so Rael tries to get it off of her. It doesn't work. So Abigail's like, we're going to have to take her out. We all have to agree to do it. And so basically Rael uses the witch bomb and she's able to sustain it. And then Abigail basically becomes her ancestor, Jem, probably better than Jem, and starts braiding freaking tornadoes and like puts her up in the air, and they end up killing her. So they kill Penelope. And then thinking back to sweet Penelope, who was actually, really excited about basic and was really happy about, being a witch. And that's heartbreaking. That is effing heartbreaking. But they kill her. And that leads to some repercussions, which we'll talk about in a second. At the same time, we have Sarah and the Alder and the biddies. They come up to General Bellwether, and she's like, how can we help? And so, of course, Petra sends them to the dorms to go find more people to try and get, save them, basically. And so her and the biddies and Anacostia go off to fight. Well, the biddies get taken down with the plague. And because the biddies die, that means Alder is going to die, because, they're the only reason that she's alive. So what ends up happening is, but I will tell you this, the scene where Anacostia is literally crying and saying my mom, because she refers to Alder as her mother because she was a fosterling. And I've always understood since season 1, and this may be a misunderstanding on my part, I always thought that Anacostia was adopted by Alder because Alder couldn't have children, so she's the closest thing that she has to a mother since her parents died. So I always thought that was a thing. I still feel like her parents' death was a little shady, and I'm just going to put that out there because, them not wanting to use the work-off base because they were a stickler to the rules, even if it was like you would think it would be like a human reaction to save their own lives instead of crashing their car. They would have used the work, but, I guess, if they're just really that hardcore, that explains a lot about Anacostia. But anyway, at least in the beginning of the season or series. But I really love the scene where she's having that moment, and Alder does not initially die. She starts aging. Girl looks like a tree. She looks like a freaking tree, which is really cool because if you think about it, she created Mama Mushroom. She's very good with the elements. So in a way, it's almost like she's becoming Mother Nature, or Groot from the Guardians of the Galaxy. But Alder, is laying in, they're laying by Mother Mushroom. She wants to go into Mother Mushroom. She wanted to see the Bellwether unit before she went. So everybody's talking about what they, what she did to inspire them. How, Rael's like, you help me embrace my darkness and face my darkness so I could get a better handling on the witch bomb. And then Tally comes up and she's kind of like, I never thought my actions would lead us here, but don't worry. I don't know how, I understand what you did, but I understand the burden it was, and we'll handle that burden. You can let it all go. And I'm like, Tally is starting to have regrets a lot in this episode. I'm just saying. But they end up putting Alder into Mother Mushroom, which any comic book lover knows. One of two things are going to happen. You're about to become a sentient being, or you're about to become Poison Ivy. So either way, she's either going to be a sentient being. Maybe she's going to be Mother Nature. She'll be something else, something more powerful, or she'll become Poison Ivy. Either way, and her version of Poison Ivy instead of plants will be mushrooms. But either way, Alder she's literally de-aging inside of Mother Mushroom, which is interesting because it's like her child that she created is saving her and rebirthing her. That makes sense. I really want to see After the Storm on this. I don't know if it's posted yet. Again, I didn't have time to look. So we'll see what Elliot and I guess the cast says about this episode after my stream. But again, I kind of like doing the stream before I look at that to see if I'm right. So think of it as a pop quiz. But yeah, Alder's coming back. Alder's not dead. So, and she was holding on too. The biddies were gone, and she was still like, I'm not going anywhere till I have my scene. So I was like, okay. Now let's talk about the other cool thing that happened. Khalida. Camarilla got some problems, guys. You think Adil has skills? So they split up. And Adil went to go find Khalida. And of course, 2 or 3 members of the Camarilla coming into the room. And initially, she's not going to fight. She's not going to fight for her life. She's like, no, because she's a pacifist. She's not going to fight. She's going to let them kill her. But then this is where they mess up. They got a blade while Adil was fighting them. One of them cut him in the back and was about to take him out. and Khalida opened her mouth, and this horrible effing sound came out, and dude started burning alive from the inside. That guy literally looked like coal, like charcoal, within like 5 seconds. And she did that like that. Now, Khalida has come to terms with the fact that the Camarilla are evil. And when she looked into their eyes, she saw nothing but never-ending hate. Therefore, now I have walked in your shoes by almost losing you, brother. I get why you chose to take these motherfuckers out. Therefore, I'm going to help you with this mission. And now the Camarilla has effing problems because Khalida is now pro killing the Camarilla. So they've got some problems. And I'm excited. Something else happened that I've been wanting to happen that I said was on my wish list. I wanted the 3 girls, the Bellwether unit, to leave the base and have to go on the run. I probably said this 2 or 3 reviews ago. What happened? They effing left the base on the damn run. It's like he's listening to me. I'm like, he's listening to me. I am so excited because I literally feel like so many people will get another aspect, another view of what the Bellwether unit is capable of outside the constraints of Fort Salem. You're going to see who these people really are now because they are not confined and restricted, and they don't have that claustrophobic feeling of having to stay in line and stay the course and do what Alder tells you or do what the military tells you. Now they can run around and do whatever the hell they want. Now, the problem that I have with this is that they also took Nikta. So we got Nikta and Scylla, of course, our Bellwether unit, Khalida, and Adil. Now, this team is actually a very damn good team. These could be like effing Avenger level, team. Hell, some might say Justice League level, because remember, if you're in the comics, more powers on the Justice League than they're on the, Avengers team. But either way, you got a super freaking power team. And so I think the Camarilla, even though they are militant, they are so structured. It is scary how many people are Camarilla, people that they may accidentally trust next season that will probably be Camarilla. I think there's going to be a lot of casualties on both sides. But this group, I think Camarilla's got problems. Now, there is something that was said that I thought was interesting. And one of my viewers actually said this, and I can't remember the name. If I find your name, I promise you, I love giving credit. If I find your name, I will give you credit. But somebody said, what if Abigail and Adil had a baby? Would it be cool? They kind of reference Wyatt from Charmed, OG Charmed. Well, Albin said the union of earth and sky must be prevented. And I'm like, Then I started to think about it. The Bellwether line, literally Abigail is a prodigy, if you think about it, in her, basically control of the weather, her being a blaster. I mean, she's Sky. She is Sky. And then you've got Adil, who literally can like earthbend like he's in freaking Avatar. So if they have a kid together, that kid would literally be O-effing-G and O-P. Secret bomb. You think the witch bomb is problem? I'm like, that kid would be effing unstoppable. And their aunt will be Khalida. I'm just saying. I mean, if they want to hold off for a little while, the kid grows up, gets a little older, Camarilla's got problems. And the Camarilla knows it. They know that kid would be OP. And so they don't want them mating at all. That's what I got out of that. Please don't conceive a child together, because that will be the end of us. We can't stop something like that. That is an abomination that we are not ready for. That is what I got from that. So yeah, was that you, Dee? I just saw you and open the chat. Dee, congratulations, because you have won the prize, because I did not see that coming and you did. So gold star for the evening. Good job. All right. So much going on, guys. So much going on. I really don't know if they're going to go anywhere at all with Sterling and Anacostia. I'm going to say I really like them together. Sterling came to the base with Silver. And yes, again, we see the irony of Sterling Silver. And Silver basically forged his name, or had the Camarilla other members forge his name to sign him in. Now, I don't know if they were if he was really him, or maybe they were using some of the sprees working, because, they seem to take things from everybody at this point. They hate the witches so much, but they love taking their work, because I guess you fight your enemy with their own power. So Sterling only signed in the news crew that were basically coming in to interview Penelope. And what's so effed up is that the person that injected her was actually Albin himself. He wore a baseball cap. And I guess if we had took a minute to freeze the frame, the picture, because I thought it was just a random Camarilla, we would have known it was him himself that was infecting her. That is so effed up. And Sterling was going to be framed for that. I feel like all of this was not only just to infiltrate the base, take as many voices as they can, spread the witch bomb, and hopefully take out everybody in the base, but it was also to frame people. Now, I don't think they realized what they were going to do to stop Penelope, but they did have a news camera crew filming everything, because they wanted to actually catch them doing, incriminating stuff to make them look even more like crap to the rest of the world, because witches are evil, # accountability for witches. So Camarilla is brilliant. I have to say, for the evil piece of crap organization, they are very effing smart. And unfortunately, as old and experienced, 300 years of experience that Alder has, her own denial about them coming back, her own complacency with the fact that technically she also helped create the spree. She wasn't thinking that these people could have been building power, that they were literally like doing a version of a corporate takeover, but on a really effed up and grander scale. So I think that time that Alder was deflecting from the Camarilla and focusing on the spree, giving everyone a common enemy to keep the heat off of the witches, keep the hate off of all witches by having an enemy that everybody fought, army and civilian. She neglected to see the actual underlining evil, the Camarilla, which is sitting in the background, building power, building connections, doing all kinds of shit. It makes it really stupid on both Alder and Nicta's part, because even Nicta was thanked by Albin for basically saying, you made our work easy, that you doing all this shit, like murdering civilians that had nothing to do with this shit. You made us look good. We're making our mission accepted by other people, because they think you're making everybody see witches as evil. You did it. They literally made witches responsible for the hate witches are getting from the public. And actually, that's a checkmate. He's not wrong. They literally did it themselves. I mean, they literally did a big chunk of the Camarilla's work themselves. And even Nicta agreed with that. Tally in this is really like, she's having issues. Now, to be fair, I gotta say, Tally girl, you didn't kill Penelope. Abigail and Rael killed Penelope. You just stood by and was basically a bystander. You're an accomplice, I guess, because you didn't stop it. She looked Penelope right in the eye when that poor girl was basically begging for help, and they killed her. But the same thing, they are a unit, so it's shared responsibility. I get it, but I need you to sleep at night, Tally girl, because you did not do it. You are a seer. If this is Charmed, you are Maggie or you are Phoebe. You do not have an active power in that way. So you did not do anything to Penelope physically. You just stood by and watched. So I get it, though. Penelope and Tally had a bond. Tally felt like her mentor, and I guess we should have seen it coming. I mean, we kind of did. We did say, I bet you he's going to kill his daughter. I mean, that came out of my mouth. Other people's comments said the same damn thing that suspected Silver from the beginning. We knew Silver was going to do something to get rid of his daughter. And Tally is now having to live with the guilt of that, having to live with the guilt of this sweet girl who did nothing wrong, who was basically made a pawn in this whole effing horrible ass battle. So her father is ambitious, hating ass could become president of the United States. And then on top of that, President Wade, who again is using and inserting her lady balls, is not seeing that the real danger is coming from in her own damn, cabinet. Her freaking vice president is out to take her out. And the whole Camarilla is out to take her out because they're looking at her as a witch sympathizer. And that is also messed up. Like the entire thing that is happening right now takes so many aspects of the real world, from the civil rights movement all the way to the ISIS terrorist attacks to BLM. There's so many things that are basically taken out of our actual history and current, sociographic climate and put into this story. And it's actually really well done. So I have no complaints for almost a majority, like 99% of, Motherland Fort Salem. I am completely behind. And I'm so happy that we're seeing so many characters find development. Like they're actually going through things. They're feeling things. They're feeling redemption. They're feeling their feelings on stuff. Abigail was the lowest I've ever seen her this, season. Now she's like literally the strongest I've ever seen her this entire series. So, I mean, when you look at it from that perspective, you look at Adil was in, he was so, I don't kill. We're a pacifist. This is what we do, to the point where, but we have to defend ourselves. And that's what he says. I'm not trying to kill people. I'm trying to, basically save us. I'm trying to defend us. That is how you handle this shit. You don't, like I said, I can't talk about the whole thing with Rayla because, again, people, I have to be clear with you on something. The thing with Scylla is just weird to me. Her hugging Edwin in this episode made me cringe because I'm like, he doesn't know you killed 1,601 civilians like him. Not like the Camarilla, just normal people who were at this mall for conscription day. I mean, that could have been me going to the food truck or something. We have like this food truck festival. It's just been out there one day. And then somebody was like, you don't support little businesses, and blow everybody up. And it's like, I just have to be a victim. I don't like stories where a character does not go through the same redemption and be made to feel increasingly bad about things that they've done, like they did with Nikta and Alder and everybody else. Like everybody else has redemptions. Everybody else has to face what they've done. But Scylla, she gets spoken to about it. But at the end of the day, she hasn't redeemed shit. I'm sorry. And that is literally the only problem I have with this storyline. I can't support this coupling because I think it's toxic as hell. And until Elliot does something to write that better for me, I just won't. And it's just what it is. It's just what it effing is. And if Adil wasn't around, I actually ship Rael more with Abigail than I do with Scylla. I love the enemies to frenemies to BFFs to lovers concept. And as an LGBT member and a minority, I really feel like these are stories I can get behind. I don't want a story about two white girls, one girl basically being a terrorist and not having to face shit, basically being almost like a Mary Sue in this thing, getting everything you want at the end, but not really having to pay for anything you've done. And the only redemption that you've done is basically by continuously saving Rael. And the only reason I'm talking about this, because I don't want to keep talking about it, is Rael made a comment that basically summarizes how I felt about their entire damn relationship. Scylla, you saved me again. So I'm going to drop the mic on that one because that's literally her entire damn motivation 99% of the time. 1%, she wants to save other witches. She never wants to save innocent civilians, never has saved innocent civilians, probably will never save. I mean, season 3 may prove me wrong on that, but as far as I'm concerned, until Scylla gets off this little moral high ground they keep putting her on and starts redemption and feeling like shit for being a murderer, then I can't support. I just can't. I cannot. It's just what it is. Now, Petra and Anacostia are going back to the base. Petra says that she is terrified. She's gone against protocol. The Bellwethers are soldiers. They've done nothing but breed effing soldiers since the very first Bellwether followed Alder. So for her to break protocol, to break a rule, to do all of this stuff outside of the espionage stuff, which is still in the constraints of her job because she was the head of, she's basically the head of people spying and espionage for Fort Salem. she basically broke her daughter out of jail against the president's orders, against the US's orders, against the law. I mean, they broke the law. They are fugitives now. They are literally like Spider-Man. They have no way home. I'm like, no way home. Now I love how they're like, we're gonna head west and hide in the session. And I'm like, why? They know Rael's from there. That's one of the first places they're gonna fucking look. Like, oh, come on, guys, make smart choices. Do not hide this session. Leave town, leave the country, go somewhere else. There needs to have like a safe house or something. They have Anacostia with them. They don't have her with them, but they have her helping from the sidelines. So I mean, they should have like a place they could go that's completely off the effing grid that the president and nobody else knows about. Why are you going to hide in the session? That is stupid. That is stupid. That's literally like robbing a bank and then coming back 10 minutes later to deposit it in your bank account. That's dumb. Like, please don't do stupid stuff. No, don't do that. So it's a thing. The Petra and Anacostia, like, kind of partnership thing, I like it. I know a lot of people are in their feelings about how ambitious Petra is. Petra's ambitious. Everybody has a fucking thing in this show. I don't want to hear that mess. Everybody has a thing in this show. So I'm not going to hate on Petra because in a way, Tally and Petra were both right. Alder was not. It was her time to go. Now, the effing horrible part is the timing on which this happened because, Alder's body and her health is connected to Fort Salem. So, like, Isadora even pointed out, when Alder stepped down and was getting sick and, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that's why all of the protections they had on Fort Salem weren't as strong because Alder wasn't in charge anymore, which is kind of shade. You're throwing shade at somebody right there. I see what you're doing. But at the same time, this is the Camarilla have been planning this for a while. This is not like it came out of the blue. This has been a highly, like, it is an orchestrated thing. Really interesting that we didn't see Vice President Silva last season, though. We saw President Wade. Why didn't we see the Vice President? Because he was everywhere. And why didn't anybody put together that President Silva was in every location where there was crap and in every location where confidential top secret information was? He would be the only one that could leak it. Like the whole thing with Rael demonstrating the witch bomb. That was Vice President Silva that was there. Why didn't they think, the common denominator in this scenario is Vice President Silva? Even now, I don't think Anacostia and Petra got it. Like, Anacostia knows that Sterling did not sign those other two news crews in, but she didn't put together that it was actually the vice president. So that's going to be interesting. I just don't know why. How many times do people have to say, even the Camarilla is like, we have people in high places. Think about it. Guys, I don't know. It's a thing. But yeah, very, very, very good episode. The best this season. But again, for me, season 1's season finale had a bigger impact only because I didn't see most of this coming. And in season 2, unfortunately, I did. So the best part of this episode with me was the character development. And I got my wish. My girls are on the run. I wanted them on the run. I said I needed them to leave that damn base and live their life. They did it. So I'm happy. I am happy about that. I am happy about, a lot of stuff. I don't know if Gregorio is going to be able to see Tally because she's a fugitive. He might find her though. I'm really hoping that we're not going to have Tally and Nicta moments where, because she calls her Red, and I'm pretty sure it does seem like Nicta and Alder were a thing. So I don't know if it's true, like I believe, and this is only because I'm queer. Everybody's on the spectrum. Then Tally could swing both ways. I kind of feel like all of them can. I feel like sexuality and this is a different thing. So, but again, I love this show. And honestly, in terms of the realizations by the characters, I guess they can't be as swift as us. They're going through all the trauma. So I'm going to give them this. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that there's so much traumatic shit happening, from Raella being kidnapped, Adele having to kill for the first time, Tally really seeing Alder's memories and understanding that Alder helped found the spree inadvertently, and all the stuff with Nikta being erased and technically being betrayed, blah, blah, blah. All of this traumatic shit is why they can't see what's blatantly obvious in front of them. So that Vice President Silva is the effing problem. But you know what? It is what it is. All right. So I'm at the top here on the comment wheel. Again, I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm dying. My sinuses, I feel them, and I'm so sorry. But I did not want to not talk about this. So let's start at the beginning. Eric says, wow, what an ending, Alder. But we know that this is not an ending for Alder. Alder is turning into Mother Nature / Poison Ivy. Let's see. The inside of the mycelium has evolved into this weird dome. I love it. I'm telling you, I get so many like Poison Ivy vibes, mixed with Plantera vibes from Image Comics. Like there's so many comic book vibes that were very stand outish to me. And I swear to God that literally that scene where they were looking at Albin coming through the wall, that was straight out of Venom. So I was like, literally, I could see that in Venom versus Carnage, like the Venom 2 movie. I literally could see that same effect because that's what it looked like. It looked like everybody was being infected by little Venoms, which would have been badass, just saying. Would have been badass. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? Well, that happened. Book 3 begins. Yep. So many of our coven died. Justice must be served. I agree with that. It was hard watching all those witches go down. And every major, like when Petra was like, where's the colonel? Where's the major? And they're all like, none of them made it. And I'm like, damn, messed up. How does this episode stack up next to the previous one? You mean in this season? I kind of felt like it was just a continuation. Like, honestly, the last episode and this one were like a mini movie. So to me, it's the same. And remember, this says part 1. We're not even giving part 2 of this until season 3. So watching After the Storm on YouTube. So it's out. Cool. Hashtag save Motherland Fort Salem. I support you guys. Seriously, I'm just telling you, Freeform has a history of not giving a fuck about this. I'm just putting it out there. How they treated people when they were trying to save, technically, they made an ad when they were trying to save shadow hunters, and it was literally making fun of people who were starting petitions. It was very controversial. You can actually Google it. Freeform had a little shade thrown at them for having, how they handled that situation. So, but they are of the, they're of the impression that they're not going to be bullied into doing something and continue a show. So if this petition is going to Freeform, I'm just going to tell you guys, I think it's a waste of time. If you're trying to get Netflix or Hulu or someone else to pick this up, that's a different story. I would love this to go to somewhere like Prime or HBO Max. But again, it's out of our hands. We don't know what kind of inclusivity type contract was signed. It could be something like the Defenders on Marvel or on Netflix with the Marvel Defenders, where they couldn't have the characters used again for 3 years, or they couldn't have another version of the show used for 3 years. So, I mean, I don't know. But I do stand behind it. I would love to have more seasons of this show. I just don't want anybody to be disappointed, which it probably will be anyway, if this petition goes nowhere. To be honest with you, I feel like it's building and we're watching for a crescendo or the other shoe to drop. Of course we are. Of course we are. Things have to hit the fan before they get better. Season 3 is coming. We just don't know when. True. This finale was not a cliffhanger like season 1, but more of a setup. Part 1 has, part 1 was in the name. You're right. Now that what our fears have been confirmed tonight with how the Blenton coup Silva used on his own daughter as a bioweapon to attack or eradicate witches from the face of the earth has me thinking now. Yeah, President Silva is giving me Henry VIII. Yes, he is King Henry VIII. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's ambition plus his hatred of witches. He hates witches. I mean, how he looked at his daughter. I always go back to the first scene, his very first scene in season 2, when she starts using her power. And you look at his face. That is not a concerned father. That is somebody who was pissed off and disgusted. So, yeah, I knew that was what it was. I mean, they didn't try to hide it well. Union of Sky and Land, the Camarilla wants Abigail and Adele. Yep. And just think about their Avatar baby or their Wyatt baby. Perhaps to put the plague everywhere. I really believe the union of sky and earth would stop the plague, to be honest, because look what Abigail did. I mean, to be fair, Rael was sustaining the witch bomb, but Abigail was the one that blew it up. So honestly, they should have been training Abigail and Rael from day one together because they are formidable together. Oh, wait, sorry. Looks like Kelly Wade was removed from office due to extenuating circumstances and conflict of interest on multiple occasions to be a stable body. Well, they said that they were taking her to her bunker. I hope that does not mean they're either holding her hostage or they killed her. Because if some of her, security staff, Secret Service, blah, 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 are Camarilla, which they probably are, then she may not even be alive anymore. I'm just saying. I have a feeling President Wade is trapped in her bunker or dead. Yep, absolutely. I agree with that 1,000,000,000%. I feel like she's most likely dead or locked up in a mental ward due to her tempered mental state along high volatile emotions towards the Fort Salem and by extension, witches as a whole. Yeah, I agree with that. We finally got to see Khalida show off some storm and fury. She was badass since her altercation with Alder. Yeah, I think Alder really he should have left Khalida alone. The Tarim knows seeds that nobody else knows. So they're scary. They are effing scary. They're scary. I love how when Abigail and Rael and Tally were arrested, because they were arrested for killing Penelope, because the witches need to be held accountable. I love when Khalida was like, when's Abigail coming back? And Adele was like, oh, so you like her now? And she smiled. I'm like, oh, she approves of the new sister-in-law. So I thought that was cute. Wade was scheming about and had no idea where her schemes were leading. I don't even think Wade is scheming. Wade is asserting her lady balls. I'm telling you, she was pissed because Alder puppeted her, which she should have been mad. She was angry because she did make a point. Whenever stuff goes bad, they come to the president and say, what the hell are you doing? Why aren't you stopping this? And she can't fight the spree. She can't make decisions. Alder was calling the shots on Fort Salem before Wade was even a concept. So she was in her feelings about her power, not being the leader of the free world. She is showing her and exerting her power right now. Petra, unfortunately, is seeing all of the shit that Alder had to deal with Wade firsthand now, because that's with ambition comes also responsibility and a hell of a lot of burden. So she's gonna get it from both sides. But right now, I don't think she has to worry about Wade at all, because Wade's probably, again, locked up or dead. So it's a thing. It is a thing. Let's see. True, we had to see Khalida go Kyoshi mode in brief moments by turning the camera foot soldier into the molten rock and crumbled to pieces. That scene was gorgeous. I know that sounds really weird, but that scene, I mean, she didn't even hesitate. She didn't hesitate. Is Khalida fire like Adil is earth? Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of Avatar stuff going on in this show. So yeah, Khalida seems to be from the Fire Nation. And so really, if we're talking like Legend of Korra, then Khalida is Bolin and Mako is basically Adil. That makes sense. That's the best way I can describe that. Fire and earth. But of course, they both can use earth, because remember, they both use earth to stop make the indention into the road to stop the transport vehicle, taking them to basically trial and probably be executed. Did you see the smile on Khalida's face when she was helping Adil, basically do the earth attack, or the earth, raise the earth up or sink the earth down to stop the vehicle? She smiled. I'm like, oh, she's liking this now. They have released a monster. Sorry. President Silva has some screws loose. Vice President Silva has some screw loose. He gets on my nerves more than the doctor. Also, the doctor had some good comedy and sassy moments. Yeah, the doctor's just being a villain. Literally, if my boy David Tennant had not been the Purple Man and Jessica Jones, I would have loved for this actor to be the Purple Man. He would have been effing cool as a purple man in Jessica Jones. Going by Avatar and Legend of Korra, magma molten rock is a form of earth, so it's safe to say that both Adil and Khalida's abilities are tied to the earth. True. Just like Bolin and Mako. So you're absolutely right. Whenever everybody gets the chance, check out Motherland Fort Salem After the Storm. Some nice info on that program. I will look at that. Silva, I've been calling him Silver by any other name. What an a-hole. I mean, Silva. I mean, it's a good playoff of Sterling Silver. This is funny to me. Witches of the Tarim have ancient songs that allow them to manipulate the earth elements, etc. True. They have seeds that Alder wanted badly. So I think all of the Hague did too. Think of like a better version of Geoforce and Terra from DC Comics. That's a really good comparison. Yep, extra informative tonight. I'm now more concerned with the remaining witches of Fort Salem and how they would be able to move forward with what happens. I agree. I'm actually I wish M and Gregorio had also been involved in that and that they were also fugitives. I love M. M is such an effing cool character. And Gregorio is just he's funny. He's like the comedy relief we need sometimes. And he's such a smart ass. I love his personality. I hate his character on Nancy Drew, but I'm not a big Nancy Drew fan on CW, unfortunately. But I really like Gregorio, and I really hope that we don't, and the reason I'm saying this, guys, is if I'm going to complain about something with this show, it's just that people disappear and we don't see them anymore, and there's no real reason given. Case in point, where is Glory? Tally's friend from back home. She did not die. Libba died. She went to War College. Where is Glory? Why is Glory never mentioned again? When Tally was like in her feelings and she couldn't talk to Raelle and she couldn't talk to, Abigail, she talked to Glory. Why do we not see Glory? Now, somebody let me know. Maybe I missed it somewhere in season 2. Maybe they announced that Glory was unfit for duty. She decided to go back, to their matrifocal farm life, whatever. Please let me know where Glory is, because Glory just dropped off the face of the effing earth. And I do not want that to happen to M and Gregorio, because that is highly probable. At least with Libba, we know that she died. So they didn't just get rid of her. But Glory's gone, completely gone. And I don't know. I'm in my feelings about that. So I just wanted to point that out there, that to me was weird. It was just really, really weird. So I'm really hoping season 3 doesn't do that for us, because that would make me very sad if we don't have M and Gregorio at all next season, which is highly probable. So yeah, so sad that season 3 is going to be the final season. This show has very much Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Hobbits, Marvel, etc. potential. It does. Every nerd genre you like. I wonder if we will see Gregorio and M more now that true danger is much more apparent. See, I just talked about this. I'm hoping they find a use for these two characters, because right now there's no coven because 3 of their members are on the run. So, but I mean, it gives me hope that Gregorio was like literally concerned for Tally the entire episode. And has been very aware and help basically likes to check on Tally and help Tally whenever. So that is a good sign that he will probably be endgame for Tally, and that will be who she ends up with by the end of the season, next season. But I don't know. I don't know. Since the Camarilla doesn't want Abigail and Adil together, I wonder if season 3 Abigail gets pregnant. Could be. I mean, her magical womb. Which is so funny that she said, my mother and, basically only thinks that I'm valuable because of my womb. And now the Camarilla are going to prove to you that you have a lot of value because of your womb and who impregnates it. So it's a thing. It is a thing. With that being said, since President Trask, Silva is now in a position that could theoretically make open season on WitchCon as a whole, I fear that his next move is to get Congress or the House to burn the Salem Accords and boost the Camarilla morale, with these witch testing centers leading to the Camarilla obtaining more innocent witches' vocal cords. I can see that. I could see that being a thing. Let's see. Okay, I already saw that one. Sorry. I hope we get a lot more shows next season. Shows? What do you mean shows? I mean, right now, this is literally the only show that interests me on Freeform. So, I mean, I don't know what they could replace this with, honestly. But again, I thought the same way with Shadowhunters, and then we got this. I just wish they would just let seasons go. I think we only got 2 seasons of Shadowhunter and then like a mini 3-episode thing. So I don't know. They always get rid of the good shows. It's irritating. Let me scroll down here. The best episode. It was very good. And I hope if it's the last season, they finish with a book series. I think that Elliot would. Again, that was his original plan. This was always meant to be a book series. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool. And then if it becomes a book series, what will end up happening is later on they'll make a movie. They'll do it in reverse because with City of Bones and all the Shadowhunter anthology that Cassandra Clare wrote, they actually did a movie first. And then it didn't do as well. It wasn't bad, but it didn't do as well. And then they went ahead and made it like a TV show a few years later. And that's the one that was on Freeform. Well, it'll be reversed, I guess. They do a TV show, then they write the books, and then they do movies. So, you know, it won't be the same because we bonded to these characters, but it is what it is. Camarilla said their union cannot happen. Yeah, they're scared. They're scared of any connection between these two. I don't think this is the last season. There's certainly more to tell with this show. I mean, it says final season in the news reports. So I don't know. I mean, unless it's a typo or somebody's just playing with us, thinking it's April Fool's Day. It's looking like the last season of the show. Season 3 in the making already. No idea how much is written or filmed. Oh, I'm sure most of it is already written. They've had COVID to write all this out. If Penelope's mother turned out to be Alyssa Milano's Phoebe, then I can just have scared for Phoebe's children and Charmed. Yeah, that would be really weird, though. The union of the land and sky must be protected at all costs. Either he doesn't want Abigail and Deal together, or he does. Not sure what he meant. Even Petra was confused. Now, he said the union of the land and sky must be, he said prevented. I didn't think he said protected. I thought he said prevented at all costs. So he doesn't want them together. Witches, be sure to sign the Save Motherland for Salem petition on Change. Share this show with friends, family. Ask Y2 reactors to react to the show using the hashtag. Hashtag Save Motherland Fort Salem. I will put that in the description of this video. I promise. Again, though, I don't know who you're sending this to, but I've got to be real with you guys. I saw what happened with Shadowhunters. I don't have a lot of faith. Not saying that I don't want to douse hopes, but with that network, I don't trust it. We will fight for this show with Storm and Fury. I thought he said prevented at all costs, and he doesn't want them together. Yeah, he said prevented at all costs. You know, I'm going to tell you what has like Storm and Fury. My sinus cavities. That's what's happening. I am feeling Petra Storm in my sinus cavities. What do you expect we'll see in season 3? A lot of shit. A lot. I think we're going to see the Camarilla now up close and personal. Know how we had like a small look into the spree cells and saw how disorganized they were and all over the place. And we got the leader. I think we're going to get the true leader of the Camarilla. We're going to see just how deep-seated the Camarilla is. We may even get some Camarilla backstory of why they hate the witches so much. I think we're definitely going to see perspectives of the Camarilla. And then we're going to see our girls trying to survive with the varying personalities. Because, you know, they're escaping right now. But let's be clear. These are very different people. And these very different people can clash from time to time. Because their morals are never going to line up. So I'm going to see this a lot with Abigail and Nikta and Scylla. So I'm going to see a lot of issues with that. Unless Elliot decides, you know what, this is the last season. I don't have to worry about redeeming Scylla. So let's just put everybody together like it's fucking Sesame Street. And everybody just gets along and supports each other and we're one big happy family. That's not real life. But, you know, for the purposes of timing, it may come to that. But if he was going to be real about it, they're going to clash. Because even Anacostia and Scylla have very different beliefs and morals when it comes to stuff. And even though Anacostia is not with them, I'm just saying that they don't agree on things. Scylla does things to the extreme, and Acostia does not. She sees more of, like, I always see Anacostia as an activist, and I see Scylla as a terrorist, and that's basically how I see it. So there's going to be a lot to it, and at the end of the day, you can take the girl out of the military, but you can't take the military out of the girl. So Abigail's going to struggle. She wasn't lying when she said she was scared, because she literally knows nothing but to be military. So she's got to be a civilian now in a way, or a dodger, something she never thought she would be in her life. You're going to see a lot of people in their feelings in season 3. So definitely a lot of Camarilla fuckery. And we're going to see a lot of the girls going through more emotional and character growth. Maybe I'll get my wish, and Scylla Ramshorn will get a damn redemption arc where she does something outside of her motivation for being with Rael. And maybe we'll see another side to Nikta, a more humane side, because we saw a little bit. We did see a little bit. But I don't know. I think maybe Tally will bring it out of her. And then another thing that I'm dying to see is Mother Nature Alder. I think we're definitely going to see what's happening with Alder, and I think it's going to be badass. Now, what I really want to see is battle mode Khalida taking on the Camarilla. There's a change petition going around for this. People, I could put it here or in the comments. Put it in the comments too, because this goes away after this. When this ends, when our live stream ends, a lot of these comments will fade out. Sometimes you can still see them, but if you want people to actually see it, put it in the comments. And again, I will put it in the description of the video too. Oh yes, Enigma, he is prevented. He doesn't want them together. He does not. He does not. Tonight's episode was epic, storm and fury indeed. I agree. Do you think Motherland would get sent to HBO Max? I would love HBO Max to pick this up. Think of the budget. Think of the budget. You can tell how good it would be just looking at, if you were an Arrowverse, fan, or you watch Arrowverse, look at the film quality of Superman and Lois versus all of the other Arrowverse shows outside of Stargirl. And then you will see Freeform has a very minimal budget. Not to say it's not, they have very good producers. They have celebrity producers. Amanda Tapping from, Battlestar Galactica directed most of these episodes. I saw her name a lot this season. So they've got a lot of clout behind it, but at the same time, Freeform is still a smaller network. Even when they have money and they're owned by a mother company, they don't put as much money towards what HBO Max would do. HBO Max has a lot more money than Freeform does. And I feel like, but then again, I need to research to see who their parent company is. And it may not be just that the HBO Max has a lot more money. It may be how much is allocated. Freeform could have just as much money, but based on their mother company, but not have it allocated for this budget. Whereas HBO, this is what they do. HBO Max does this. They throw money at projects, which is why I'm actually looking forward to the new Green Lantern series on HBO Max. I think it's going to be very cool. I would love it. I would love for HBO Max to say, you know what? We like this show. We would like to take it from here and see where it can go. Let's see where we can take it. I would love that. I don't know if they would. But hey, like I said, you never know. But let's be clear. If Netflix were to take this show, yes, it saved Lucifer. And we have 6th season coming up. But it doesn't mean they would continuously renew Motherland Fort Salem, because Netflix has a shady, dirty history of canceling shows that you love like that too. So, it's not a saving grace to get another season with them if it's the last season on Netflix. So, it's just a thing, guys. It's hard. It is hard. The actors support the petition as well. I'm sure they do. Wouldn't you? That's your paycheck. Same thing with Cloak and Dagger. Absolutely. Same thing with Runaways. The Runaways actually got shortened. They didn't think they were going to get it canceled. Guys, it's crazy. I'm more a bell caller. So am I. Like I said, in a perfect world of our wonderful LGBT representation, that would have been the couple, because I would have been behind that, seeing them slowly develop. And I'm going to be real with you guys. And you guys can come at me if you want. The first 2 episodes of this season, the way Rael was smiling and looking at Abigail, they had more chemistry for me than Rayla ever had. Just putting it out there. Now, again, I think Amalia Holmes is gorgeous. the actress Priscilla is gorgeous. This is not a shot at the actress because I am capable of suspending my disbelief and separating fantasy and reality. But since we're talking about a show and the actions of a character, not the actress, the character, I can't. I just can't. I can't do it. The way Elliot just used Alder's death to get these characters to realize and actually tell Alder all these things, but kept her alive in the end. Always loved to see it. Yeah, I'm glad that we didn't. You know how they say don't kill off your gays. I'm glad we didn't kill off our witch, our main witch. I'm glad that she got to stay around. So it's a thing. Raelle Bellwether or Abigail Collar, either one. Either one. Raelle. I like Rayweather. I think that's a good ship name, Rayweather. Hopefully we get the show moved to another network, service channel, etc. If not, I'd love to push for a movie, book series, and so on. I would love for this to be even a comic book series or graphic novel. I'll download it on Comixology. I'd be absolutely happy to. Let's see. Abigail Collar has a nice ring to it. I agree. I thought the episode was going to be primarily be the battle. I knew it wasn't because it was part 1. I knew it was gonna be extended and I knew something weird was gonna happen. I'm just glad that they took my dream and separated these girls and made them go on the run because that's what I said I wanted and that's what I got. So I'm happy with that decision. You were thinking the same thing. Silva being the father of the year. I hate that man. Yeah, he's an a-hole. He's an a-hole. Little personal shot out here. My dad would probably do the same thing. Just throwing it out there. Like, my dad he's something. You are so right about the vice president. Yes, he's a piece of crap. I mean this respectfully. I think you're mispronouncing Camarilla. No, this trust me on this. I mispronounce everything, Magic Me. Everything. The only time I don't mispronounce something is if because I do voiceover work. When I have an ADR person or director telling me that I'm mispronouncing it and then telling me how to say it. If there's nobody in my headphones that I'm not wearing telling me it's actually this word, I will butcher it all day. But I thought it was the Camarilla, but it could be the Camarilla. It could be the Cams, whatever. I will call them the Cams for the rest of this stream. But yeah, trust me, 100%. I am more than likely absolutely butchering. I am beyond butchering it. I have butchered it, reincarnated it, and butchered it again. So makes sense. It tracks. If Alvin was Venom, Penelope is Carnage or Hysteria. Yeah. I think Hysteria probably a better connection. Groot Alder. Yeah, so you saw it too. Did she not look like a tree? She looked like Groot. Abigail summoned her many great grandmother, Aurora Monroe, and that control storm. She was storming that. You're not wrong. Anna Costa had me crying so hard. She had me bawling, especially when she was crying and they were holding her hands because we're used to seeing stoic Anna Costa in control, keeping her feelings in check. The only time we saw her cry, I think last season, is when she saw Alder puppeting President Wade through the window. And then we're like, wow, she's affected by this. So yeah. Alder was giving Pinocchio SNS. Yep. Gralder. Yes, that's what she was. She became Gralder. I love that. That was the last scene they filmed this season. And Tally taking Anacastia's hand was unscripted. They were all definitely feeling those emotions. I bet. They were all going home, I guess. If that was their last scene, they didn't know if they were going to see each other because, they don't know what they're going to be renewed or not. So that literally could be the last time all of them were together. I bet you every series that we're into cries when they go home. Like, I hope I see you next season. Let's see. I feel like Alder is on her way to becoming Gaia, like a Captain Planet. Her immense rage towards Camarilla, praise for their unfortunate souls. Could you see her as Gaia? Like literally, and basically giving all them rings to channel it. That means Tally would be like Mati, power of heart. Let's see. Technically, I guess Wheeler would be Khalida. Kwame would be Adil. Linka would be Abigail. Wait, Raelle would just be Captain Planet. They all form her in their power of her mushroom, and then she'd be Captain Planet. That would be effing hilarious. I'm sorry. Don't have my mind going down that road. Hope bigger network picks up because it's just a good show. It is a very good show. You're so good at your predictions. Mother Mushroom is healing Alder. Can't wait for you to see her confirm it in After the Storm. So she is? So she is going to be Mother Nature / Poison Ivy with mushroom powers. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Khalida, it's time to embrace your destiny to become your next evolution, Avatar Kyoshi. She's either Avatar Kyoshi or she's about to become Phoenix. Like, I have mixed feelings about Khalida killing that guy. I kind of wanted her to remain the total 180-degree, 100% pacifist. Her work was phenomenal, though. She is the most powerful of them all. She is. She absolutely is. Like I said, they don't realize what they have done by letting Khalida realize it's okay to defend yourself. Like, that means it's okay for her to do all kinds of stuff they haven't seen yet. And I am here for it. So, yay. Also, killing Sora for the grammar error. No apologies here. I do grammar errors while I talk. It's fine. Toph, Su Ying, and Lin would be proud of Adil and Khalida. Absolutely. Absolutely. Alder is coming back, and plus she will become more powerful after Storm confirmed and did Petra's control president. Oh, really? So Petra, I don't think Petra controlled the president. I feel she just reaped the benefits of Alder doing it. So, okay. Again, if everyone knows, Dee Dee was the one who basically prophesized that if Abigail and Adil had a child, that child will be what we call endgame for everybody in the show. So, good job. Sterling was innocent. Yes, he was. Dude, is it Bellwether Unit, Nixta, Khalida, Adil, and Scylla, the new coven? Yeah. Now, I can't remember. Did Rael's dad run away with them too? But I guess it doesn't matter because they're going to hide in the session, which is, again, effing stupid. That is a stupid plan. I can tell that most of these people have never run away in their lives. I am actually I'm very insulted for Scylla because one thing I could say about Scylla is that she was raised by Dodgers in the spree. So she should know how to go from place to place, not be detected. Why the hell are you going back to the session? Why? They know Rael is from there. That is one of the places that they will search. They will go to her dad's house. Why would you do that? And I understand that the session is huge. And, if you think about it, it's a huge, pretty much Indian reservation land. I get that. And when I say Indian Native American, I just completely let some of my ancestors down. I apologize. But I feel like even on a res, they could be found. So I don't know. I'm in my feelings about that. I can't see these people living off the land in the woods. I remember Elliot saying that witches can accelerate pregnancy and make birth virtually pain-free. I wonder if Abigail and Adil are going to make a little battle baby. It's like a manga that I read. There's this manga I read where this man takes this human girl and they just pop out babies, but they're popping out of bubbles. I don't know why. He just touches her and she's pregnant. She pops out. And they're literally within 5 days are almost teenagers. And they're like, we're ready to fight, Mom. That would be hilarious. Bellwether Unit plus Scylla plus Nicta plus Quinn plus Adil plus Khalida. That's just too much. Plus Nicta has Pimp My Ride powers. They can just transform herself inside and stick her eye. The Camarilla don't stand a chance. I want to see the conversation between Scylla and Nicta, one of her followers. Because Nicta basically took out, what was his name? Joshua? Was it Joshua? The guy that they poured the gold down his throat. It was actually from Scylla and Willa's spree cell. So she may be in her feelings about that. But yeah. Hashtag Salem Accords burned. It needs to be. The Fabulous Seven Coven. Now they just need fast driving cars. I don't understand how in the hell nobody has suspected her. How else could the Camarilla or the Can have known about Rael's power? He was the only non-witch who got to see it. Yeah. Look, let's got to give them benefit of the doubt. They all can't be solving crimes like we do. We watch NCIS. I watch Motherland. I'm sorry, Midsummer Murders. every detective show I can, all these crime fighting shows. Hell, I even watch Elementary. They can't all be good like us. They just can't. They had a lot of trauma, a lot of stuff going on. They just weren't in their minds. But I will say, if I was in this universe, I would be sus as shit. I would be suspecting everybody. Everybody be on the wire. I'm like, oh, well, why were you? Where the hell were you at 8:45? Who are you talking to? I'm like, so yeah. It's just they don't have the minority paranoia. That's what it is. They don't have it. They don't have it. They don't have it. I don't know why, but they don't have it. Let's see. Sorry. Wanted to make sure okay. Alder and Nicta, in their hindsight, gave the can a window to get as far as they did. Yep, absolutely. Also, how the hell Nicta never thought about how she was making civilians hate witches? They're making the army and the spree look incompetent and short-sighted. That's because, Latin G, they are incompetent and short-sighted. I'm like, they're not making it. They just exposed their deficiencies right in front of them. You guys are not really swift. If this is a race, we are literally the hare and you are the tortoise. Now, eventually you will win this race because the tortoise eventually wins against the hare. But right now, we've been out sprinting you for years because you're slow. You are slow. You're slow. Just saying. It's like trying to run a Trans Am with like a mini scooter. Tally agreed for you to die. Abby said they all had to agree. Yeah, she did. That's why I said she was literally an accomplice, but she didn't physically kill her. Like Rael and Abigail have to live with the fact that they killed this girl, physically killed her. Tally just didn't stop it. Well, Tally could do the wind shear and wind strike. That's a step up from Phoebe and Maggie at this moment. You're not wrong. Some are some are feeling redemption, not all. Yeah, everybody's feeling redemption except for one character, the one that actually I feel like she felt the most redemption. But yeah, it is what it is. It was short-sighted. Now we have even bigger issues to deal with because of it. Yep. I think we have to ask the same thing about terrorist groups and leaders in our world. The cause outweighs common sense and insight, hindsight. Yep. Nice way to spend your promotion and on the first day too. Yeah, I think this was this Petra's first full day? Yeah, that's messed up. That Petra and Abigail scene was amazing. The mama-daughter one, I love that they were both vulnerable with each other. I agree with that. I loved Petra's face when Albin was like, I'm going to go visit your daughter and Adil, and basically this same night, it's got to take them out. And she was like, okay, you don't know who I am, motherfucker. Those earrings were coming out. The Camarilla government, etc., better leave Rael's dad alone, especially now that the unit is on the run. I can see an awful interrogation happening. I can too. I think it's because they don't believe he would hurt Penelope that they don't realize. I don't know why they don't do that, though. I mean, how many times have they been backstabbed and betrayed by people that they trusted? That makes no sense. At this point, I wouldn't trust a damn person. Nobody. I wouldn't do anything or anybody. I do not understand. I just don't understand. I don't. Preach Maria, how come nobody put the pieces together that was President Bland Silver? But I think Anacostia knows right after Sterling came up and when she checked the forged signatures. I think she suspects. I don't think she has proof. If anybody's going to figure it out, it's going to be Anacostia. That's just what it is. I would love to see Sterling turn against Silva and join Anacostia. We've yet to see his powers. I would love to see his powers. You are correct. We need to see more. We already see how powerful Adil is. Anacostia gave Sterling that every black mama gets when all the pieces are coming with the story. And I feel the rage that Anacostia is about to unleash in the near future. You are so right. She had that look like, hey, can you come here for me? Come here. I want to show you something. So this is your name, right? But that's your name right there and there too, right? Okay, I'm going to need you to go get the biggest switch off that damn tree. He's like, hold up, no, mama. That's not even my writing. I don't write like that. Oh, it cracked me up. The actor who plays Gregorio also plays in Netflix October Faction. The best part in his character is gay. I don't think I've seen the October Faction. I might need to check that out. But yeah, like I said, he's in Nancy Drew as well, but I'm just not. Let's just say there was a whole lot of cursing at the screen today. Also, Scylla needs a redemption arc, and Penelope's death was so hard to watch when they are talking about that. I was like, so sad, but true. They had to do it. Yeah. I really, and I don't like talking about Scylla because, again, I don't like the storyline. I think it's stupid. And a lot of people get in their feelings and they like to come at me on it because, people can't handle stuff. But I think I would have accepted Scylla if she had come clean to Rael's dad and said, I killed 1,601 people that were civilians because I was in a terrorist group and I was a terrorist. And I regret this. And I have to live with this every day. And I'm haunted by these people, especially the little girl in the pilot episode that stared at me while I was holding my little spree balloon. And I knew I was going to make her jump to her death. And I have to see those eyes in my mind every single night. That would have been the beginning of, okay, she's starting this process. That's not what happened. She moved in with Rael's dad. Like, she was hardcore, didn't do shit. Like, nothing. Like, her shit don't smell. And all the writing has reinforced that. So she got away with killing people. That's basically it. You can kill, if you are Scylla, you're allowed to kill whoever the hell you want and just make out with Rael and everything's fine. That's basically what it is. Why does Freeform make good supernatural shows, then with good writing, then cancel them? Because Freeform is evil. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't want to call it network evil. I think the problem is they don't have the money though. I think it gets so popular, and then as it gets more and more popular, you have to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which means the special effects and the budget have to go up. And yeah, people start expecting it to look better than the previous season, and they can't keep up. I think that's what basically killed Shadowhunters was the money. It was not the ratings. They were very highly rated. It was one of their highest rated series. So I think it's all about money. It's always about money. If you are not making as much as you're investing in something, it's got to go. I mean, look at Sci-Fi. They killed my Warehouse 13 because of the same damn thing. And that was that and Eureka were two of their highest rated shows as well, outside of Battlestar Galactica. So, I mean, it's sad. It is sad. When you are outside the situation, you're probably not going to see the problem, or at least the actors are not supposed to see the problem. Yeah, that's why I'm giving them some leeway. They've gone through so much trauma. Let's look at Rael. Rael literally had her throat cut, a boulder basically crushing her, basically has coded a few times. That girl hadn't had time to have therapy. She was right back in fucking rotation when she came back. They don't have witch therapy. So yeah. That's probably what it is. Now, I will say, though, the people that are in charge of investigations for Fort Salem, now they should be spanked. They just need to be spanked. I feel like Alder and Khalida team up would be good because one is powerfully earth and whatnot, and Alder can create powerfully lightning, which we saw. Well, we don't know what Alder will be able to do because she's being groomed by her child, Mama Mushroom, because she's de-aging without biddies. She is basically it looks like she's even absorbing the powers of all the previous witches. If Alder is the witch bomb that Rael is using, that would be even cooler. It'd be funny if Rael went to shoot out a witch bomb and Alder came out. That'd be really cool. I don't know why I like that idea. I really do. Let's see how the Cam guy alive, how he not died with the building collapse. He wasn't in it. Remember when Adil was taking out the rest of the cams that were in there, he had already left with a sample of Rael's blood and stuff. So, and all his research. So he left with some other guys. And then all the guys that were left in there were the ones that died. So he already made his escape. That's how it is. The supervillains always get to leave first in every genre. That's just how it works. I'm curious as to how long did they plan for this to become so effective, and how deep are along with his insane accomplice as a scientist, Alvin Hurt's interest with this cam tech? A long ass time. A long time. These people have done nothing but dedicate their lives to eradicating witches. So this is a generational thing. Their great grandfathers could have started this process. It's a long time. Oh, when the president was telling Bellwether to sit, I was like, Alder would not sit. Alder would not. She would stand there because the pres was trying to make a power stance, being the one standing. Alder wouldn't have to do anything because the biddies would be hissing at her. I did like when President Wave hits back, though. Remember that last season when they're like, shit, she's like, that was funny as hell. I don't think Wade is evil. I think Wade is a woman. She's a black woman as president who's trying to keep her ratings, who's trying to get reelected, who's trying not to feel like she has no power in this fight, because right now she looks incompetent as the president because all this stuff is happening under her presidency. So that is what that's all about. It's a political thing. She's trying to save her career. We have seen this in Scandal. We've seen this in any political driven show, The West Wing, all of this stuff. This is all typical political behavior. Wade is just a greedy son of a bitch. He's an evil, greedy son of a bitch. I'm sorry, Silva. And Silva is just, I mean, he sacrificed his kid for his career. That's what he did. That is what he did. Like seeing Riel's mother, friend called down the hellstorm. That was cool. Yeah, I did like that. I like that she was able to call down a hellstorm, which is interesting because I thought she was just a fixer. But I guess you can do other abilities, maybe just not as powerful. I don't know. I was waiting for the doctor to give an evil monologue telling everyone his plans in the bunker. Well, no, because it's not a comic book. It's not a Disney movie. It's not a Pixar movie. Glory is probably in a different sect since our unit is in segment, but we don't see them at all. Even when they were all in the dining area. I mean, she was in a different unit from, in a different dorm than Tally and the others, but we saw her all the damn time. I don't get where she is. It's weird. We should at least get to see, Glory walk into class. Exactly. Acknowledge her existence, because you're making me feel like she got killed or she's a Dodger now. It's weird. I wanted to see some major and other general fight like Isadora. May whatever her name, her daughter died in season 1 unit remain. I get that, but this general who have more experience. I would like to see Isadora. I would like to see her fight. I kind of thought we saw her a little bit, but I could be wrong. Everybody was swinging those whips so much. I don't know. Everybody started blending together to me. I want to see Isadora because we don't get to see Necros fight often. I want to see what their attack is. Like, do they just make the dead come in? Wouldn't that be cool if they're like necromancers and they just make the dead and spirits come in and drag you through the earth into Mother Mushroom and the Mother Mushroom eats you? I don't know. I guess they aren't witches, so that wouldn't work. Wait, have we ever seen a Necro truly fight? Nope. Only Scylla using non-canon free shit. Freeform might as well be Curse or Hex. Great shows never make it past 2 to 3 seasons. I agree. I'm still wondering if Rael will tell anyone about Alder creating the Mama Mushroom. Yeah, why do they keep stuff from each other like that? There's supposed to be one team, one dream. I don't know why the hell why didn't that would have been the perfect moment when they were pushing Alder's body through her to say, by the way, all of us end up in there anyway. Elliot said he wants to go up to season 8. Really, really hope HBO or Prime takes it, and how much Freeform is spending and are getting profits. Series gets renewed depends on profit and views. Yep, it's all about money. I still feel like the leader of the Can is the Witch Father. I really want that to be true. I just don't know where the hell the Witch Father is. So, and honestly, though, he was sleeping with a witch, potentially with the potential to actually knock her up, even though I go with Alder, that's not really a possibility since she's sterile, but, and letting his guys sleep with the women where they could have potentially knocked them up. So, I don't know. Like I said, it's all weird. I don't think that's the overall leader. I cannot wait to see who the overall leader is. And more than likely, it could be a woman. Because right now, there's a lot of testosterone in the cams. I wonder how vicious Isadora can be when the new change of command is taking place. I would love for her to torture Blatton Silva as a potential guinea pig. I would love that too. I really hope we don't have Alder be like Grandmother Willow. Like, listen, Lynn is too much of a brilliant actor for that. I agree. No, she's going to be something else. It's going to be awesome. We need to come together and end Freeform. I mean, I guess they feel like they're being punished because of the 700 Club, right? I would love to see more of her necro work and possibly see if she can cause necrosis of the body and see how far the abilities can go. That would be cool. Oh, Nicholas, trust me, the door is something everyone should fear. I mean, we all saw her slice that poor witch's throat. Oh, in season 1 when she was demonstrating it. Yeah, that was a bad day to go to class. The hashtag revenge is sweet. Abigail and the dill all day long. Let's see. What if Shady Silva is part of the Camera, he doesn't care for the witches, but loves his daughter, was clearly disappointed when she showed her powers without knowing. Well, I mean, we already established that he is. That's what, I mean, we've been saying that since the first episode. So yeah, there's no way that Silva's not. They have basically established it when he's literally riding back. I believe he was on Air Force One with Albin Hurst from the Camarilla. Maybe the trio should just be in a relationship. Polyamorous. The Camarilla using the media, upsetting and reflective real life of African-American Indian. I remember being told by my own family members that our story and history and media being not correct. Nobody's stories are correct. I literally can break down everybody who's ever set foot in this country's history is not correct. Thanksgiving is a joke, if you really think about it. Christopher Columbus was celebrated for years, and he's literally the Hitler to First Nation and Native American culture. So, I mean, of course it's not. Absolutely. My mind is already there, Maria. Hashtag Galder, hashtag Gaia mode. I mean, I don't blame you. That's a very good... Oh, that would be awesome. Khalida turned that guy into molten lava from the inside out, and it was amazing. Honestly, I ship too many people on this show. I'm still on my potential that Petra and Alder could have as enemies to friends to lovers. It does seem like Petra's not really into any of her father or baby's daddies. I don't think they're her husbands. I think they're just baby daddies. Adil and Khalida are now honorary Bayfongs in my mind. No, they're honorary. They are Bayfongs. Wait, why did I miss that they were going to the session? Is that how they spell it? That's such a bad idea. Yep. We're going to go west to hide in the session. I'm like, that is so stupid. Like, oh, they don't know how to run. Why did my brain go to Renesmee for Twilight with accelerated aging? Because that was also silly. I'm like, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. Can you imagine Scylla and Nicta learning the Khalida seeds, the cam? I would be so scared if I were the cam. The only drawback is the media's impact, spin control needed for the mill. Well, that's the thing. They're always going to make them look bad. They're going to see firsthand just how much they are hated now that they are not in the military. They've been protected on base. They're going to see it like 100%. And what's so bad is that partially it is also the Spree's effing fault. The Spree was targeting civilians. So because they were targeting civilians and not Camarilla or Cam civilians, they essentially created this fear because you are a terrorist. It would be like ISIS coming to your town and blowing everything up. You're not going to distinguish, unfortunately, one group of people that you think are terrorists, and that's something that's really horrible in this country, by the way, because they did it with 9/11. Anybody that came from the Middle East automatically had something to do with 9/11. It's very effed up. I don't subscribe to that at all, but that is what happens in the media. That is that's basically what happens across the board. It's like what's happening right now. My own damn spouse is Korean American. I live in the South, and they're talking about Kung Flu, and they're, basically telling people to go back to China. And my spouse has never been to China because my spouse isn't Chinese, but it's like the same crap. This all is relevant. So yeah, it's a thing. It is a thing. I do not want Nicta and Scylla to learn anything from Khalida at all, period, because that would be messed up on so many levels. Right? My and Zara would think everyone would be CamCon. I would be looking around every corner, every damn corner. I'd be so sus. Everybody is a suspect to me. Everybody. Did you sneeze? Okay, what are you doing? What are you really doing over there? You don't have a cold. I'm like, you're mumbling shit. I would be paranoid as hell. Like, I don't understand, and I've never understood this. When they first had the first attack, when they were at the witch testing center, and, all the people were like unloading like all this stuff. And it was, the cams, they were unloading stuff to basically blow up and distract because they wanted to get to Abigail. How in the hell, why was the security so lax? Why is the security always so lax in these places? Like, why? I mean, you guys have had experiences of terrorist attacks across the board. Even if you think the Spree is still out there, even if you blame everything on the Spree, why don't you have like metal detectors, like you do in some high schools, literally have guards like just going through and doing everything. And yes, I understand that some of the cams could be these guards, but I mean, You can have Fort Salem people. This is a witch testing facility. Have witches with the metal detectors or with whatever they can do to detect whatever. Why? Why is your security team in the inside of the fucking building? Why are they not outside all of the time screening people, screening the setup people, making people go through leaps and bounds? Why did you just let random people bring whatever the hell they want to this site with no oversight except for one damn cop who was a camera? I do not understand that at all. But you know what? Again, that's because they don't have Maria paranoia. This wouldn't go down on Maria's ship. I know everybody. Like, everybody. I'll treat you like COVID. We're gonna have ourselves a little isolation area. I'm gonna have to lead you to come over here, isolate yourself for like 14 hours till I get a hang on who the hell you are, and then I will release you. Nope. Sterling is a witch. Last episode, he said Silva is a pretty good guy for a civilian, implying he is not. And this episode, he told Anacostia civilians, none witches always get lost on base. Civvies, yeah. I think he said civvies, yeah. Makes sense to have witches on the Secret Service as bodyguards, etc. Alder has biddies. That's all good. I would have a whole freaking security detail. They wouldn't, and you would never see them. They'd be like Petra said, stick to the shadows, take small groups, take out, make smart choices when you take your targets. I'm like, If Sterling is a witch, hopefully we get to see more out of him for Anacostia's sake. I hope so. How to get away with murder, the Scylla edition. I love that. Mercenary. Let me snip that. I gotta snip that. I gotta snip it. Got to snip it. I got it. This is going on the community board. I'm sorry. It must be done. Okay. Good job, Mercenary. Made that board tonight. Just rewatched comments about Abigail and Adele. Everyone was right. Union prevented. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, there's so much going on in this show. It is what it is. I get called out for mispronouncing words in reviews all the time. I keep trying to tell you guys I'm human. I don't know why people don't believe me. But, it's a thing. Silva is a Camarilla. Of course. He's a cam. Absolutely. My feelings with Wade is complicated because even in the first ep, she said some offensive stuff about witches. She's definitely one of those people who's discriminatory towards them, but not cam level. Now, she wouldn't kill them, like not straight out terrorist stuff. But yeah. Of course. I mean, of course there's biases. I mean, look at the United States. Do you really think we've had a president that didn't have a bias? But I do love the actress who plays President Wade. I do too. I've seen her in a lot of stuff. She's a really good actress. The Witch Father is shady. I mean, I can see that. Like I said, I don't know where the Witch Father is. So, I mean, again, I don't know if we're going to see the Witch Father. I mean, where is the Witch Father? I don't get it. Took the witch quiz. I'm a necro. Did anybody find the link for that? Please put that below because I didn't see it last week. So I don't know. That was a hilarious comment about the 700. I mean, it's true. Like, hi, Kevin. We are all excited for season 3, even though potentially it's the last season we're going to get since it's the final season. Nicta's mind control power spread across the world and everyone can smile and be accepted. Well, another shot at Scylla. She did use her, what did she call it? Morgan's Whisper or whatever, to save her girl from going to jail. And everybody else got saved as an after effect because that's who Anacostia called. But I don't know how Anacostia knew she could do that because she wasn't there when they showed that. Or maybe she just called her saying, "Hey, you're good at breaking stuff, breaking people out and doing fugitive stuff. Can you go do this?" Does anybody know if guns exist in this show? I'm still trying to find cell phones. I mean, I guess some people have them. I can't think of a time I saw a gun in this show. I was thinking back to the Halloween. I don't think anybody had a gun in the Halloween party in season 2. I have no idea. We saw muskets in pictures of Revolution. True. I mean, to be fair, we don't see civilian houses much. So they could be in the civilian houses. Witches don't really need guns. Silva is Cam. Yep, he is. So like tube TVs and clunky landline phone lines they probably have World War I weapons. That tracks. I don't want too many apps because it would be hard on the actors, just more than 10, like maybe 15. Yeah, I think 15 would be pretty good. Or 16. 16 is a good even number. General Alder will come back stronger, better, faster. As long as they don't do the bionic man like sound effect when she moves, I'll be fine. I'm a knower. Got my medal in the mail a few weeks ago and wear it every episode. Aw. Well, I mean, being a seer, is that what you're saying? A knower, seer? Same thing. It's a pretty good skill. I don't know. I would want to have an obscure power. If I was in the Motherland universe, I would want the ability to teleport. I'd be able to teleport me and teleport other things. So I would be Nightcrawler, but cooler. I wouldn't have to be at the place that I teleport to before I go there. I literally could just say open field and just be in an open field. So I would just literally go to where the open field is, to wherever the hell it was. And the good thing is because I'm going to an open field and I'm not specifying a location, then nobody could track me because they didn't know where I was going because they couldn't read my mind. So yeah, it'd be a cool power. I need a teleportation person in this show. I think a lot of things could be because of them making this during COVID. Could be. Well, like I said, but Freeform is still about money because Shadowhunters it was not a COVID thing. It was a money thing. So it's a thing. They did mention that conventional forces exist. Yes, they did. So I will come back better, stronger, faster, bionic woman. I mean, as long as they don't have the sound effect, I'm completely cool with that. Whew, I made it through every comment, guys. If you have not seen, I am dying. I'm so sorry. I feel my sinuses closing more. Having lights around you when your eyes are puffy and closing and your face feels like it's sinking in is not a good feeling. So I'm going to end our stream on a high note with me being able to still breathe. But if you could post the which quiz below, please do that because I have not been able to find it. Now, to be fair, I haven't been searching hard. I haven't been able to find it. I posted a funny video, guys. It is basically me attempting to play Guild Wars 2. I've never played an MMO before. That was my first time ever playing one. It's very short, so check it out. It's actually my belated 1000K thank you video. Because with COVID, it's hard to get people together to do bigger things. But when we get to 2K, I definitely will do something bigger, like our 500 video. What else? We don't have our Owl House anymore because the Owl House is also on hiatus. So I don't know when it's coming back. So we don't have our Saturday stream, but we are having our Arrowverse Wednesday tomorrow. We have Legends of Tomorrow. We have Supergirl and we have Stargirl to talk about on tomorrow. So that is happening. So be on the lookout for that. It'll be either 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. CST. So I'll set it up and you guys should see it on the community tab. So make sure to tune in for that. Lucifer season 6 is coming out. Yes, I am reviewing it. And Approach the Yuri, I am working on a video that you guys will potentially like. Is why I like Abigail and Rael together as a ship. So that'll be my Abigail and Rael video on Approach the Yuri. So if you're not subscribed to that channel, it's relatively new, been out maybe a month or two, maybe less. Please subscribe to that. There's also another video, and I also have a collaboration coming up with Victoria again, and I have an interview coming up with another voice actress who's been League of Legends and a bunch of other stuff, my friend Danielle McRae. So we'll be talking about everything voice acting and video games and anime, and that one should be out the second week of September. So just disclaimer. And my last thing is somebody asked me about Roswell, New Mexico. I know the 3rd episode came out yesterday. I'm going to be real with you guys really quickly. I feel like Roswell's promotional team, because they're in New Mexico, must have been taken by ICE because they don't get promos. They don't get like sneak peeks. Their sneak peeks normally happen after the episode airs. I don't know what the hell's going on with Roswell, New Mexico, but I have been taking lots of notes. And so I'm going to do like a whole conglomerate type review for Roswell, a lot like the Republic of Sarah. So it is coming. I just want to, the storyline's getting strange and I want to like put thoughts together. I like to know what I'm talking about is basically what I'm saying. So I love you guys. I'm going to bed. I can't breathe anymore. Thank you for turning into the stream. Again, if you have comments, concerns, theories, ideas, what you think is going to happen in season 3, please put it down below. And I will post the hashtag Save Motherland Fort Salem tag in the description. Have a good night if it is night for you. Have a good day if it is day for you. And I will see you in our next